Okay, we're recording.
Hi, welcome to the Julie Rowe Show. Today is Thursday, March
March.
21st. What month is it? March 21st, 2019. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Julie.
Eric's in Idaho. I am in the beautiful Destin, Florida with my daughter for a girls' trip for spring break, and I am having a terrific time.
You know, I wonder if your listeners have ever noticed I am here and Eric is in Rexburg. I am here and Eric is in Rexburg. Little pattern here.
It's funny. That's because you're the stable one of this show. I'm the one that's flying all over the country, and
Stable.
people are gonna have fun with that. The stable one. So, yeah. So Eric and I have been talking for the last couple weeks about doing another podcast recording, and have some announcements. So, Eric, do you want to do the honor, or should I just start in? I mean, I feel a little rusty. It's been a couple weeks since we did a recording.
You know what, Julie? If I knew what those announcements were, I would love to announce them. So you just have at it.
Oh, come on. The mind reading skills, Eric.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
All right. So there's been a lot going on in my life and in Eric's. And so we are just at the point now where we want to make some announcements about the classes that are coming up. Basically, we are a little over a week away from the St. George Energy class or classes. And so just wanted to follow up on that. So I think we're going to try to release this maybe tomorrow, which will be Friday. So on Friday, did we decide Friday night or Saturday morning?
Yeah, Friday
we're
night.
Close the class.
Well,
Friday night at midnight or something.
Yeah, that's my vote. I think you wanted Saturday
Okay.
morning. But no, you're right.
Well,
We're going to
you're
do
the guy
Saturday
that
morning.
has to do all the work on it.
Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, we're going to close registration for the St. George event. That's right.
Okay. So Saturday morning, March 23rd at 8 a.m. Central Time, we are going to close registration for the St. George event. So if you want in on that class, you need to go to my Acuity scheduling page. If you don't know what that link is, it's acuityscheduling.com, but you can go to my julieroweprepare.com, and there's a link to take you to that website where we schedule those classes.
I can throw it at the bottom of the YouTube channel link too. So.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay, thanks, Eric. He's so techy. I don't handle any of that stuff. Thank you. Okay, so what we have going on with St. George is the same thing we had in Provo and Idaho Falls. I don't have any idea how many people are in that class. A couple weeks ago, we had 110 or something. I don't have any idea how many.
Yeah, you've gone up from there. It's filling up.
Yeah. So, so that's gonna be in St. George. Like the other classes, from a security standpoint, I will have bodyguards and security on site. We will also be sending out an email to anyone who has registered for those classes with information about the classes to prepare for the classes. And we will also be sending out a follow-up email with the address location for the venue so that you know where to go once you get to St. George. I've had people that have emailed wanting to know early because they are trying to get hotels. Guys, get whatever hotel you feel like you're supposed to get, and if you have to drive 5 or 10 minutes, it's not a big deal. I will tell you that this venue is not at a hotel, so if you're staying at a hotel, it's not like you have to book the same hotel of the venue, because sometimes people want to do that. They want to know where the venue is so they can book the hotel room at the same venue or whatever.
So after we close registration, within a day or two, you can expect an email from the event coordinators that'll announce all the venue locations and other rules and things about attending.
Right. So it might go out on Saturday, but we're going to give our event coordinators a couple days. Maybe it'll go out Monday or something. I haven't talked to them for a little while because I've been out of town. Anyway, I just want to thank them and all of our staff that are helping with this event. Look forward to seeing all of you. Look forward to seeing those of you that are attending the classes. You can do a beginning class, intermediate, or advanced class, or you can do the all day. and the prices and everything are on my Acuity scheduling website. So also want to make another announcement about Hawaii, which is coming up. We still have space there. That's in Honolulu, and that is on April 13th. All of the classes are on a Saturday, April 13th. Registration for all the events start at 9 a.m. And then we have a 1-hour lunch break between 12 and 1. And the last class ends at 5, and I will stay after for about an hour with questions and meet and greet and stuff like that. Eric is not coming to St. George or Hawaii, but he will be at Mesa, which is in May, on May 18th, and that'll be in Mesa, Arizona. Same process, starting at 9, finishing at 5 or 6 if you want to stick around.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that event. I have roots in Arizona. My Smith line comes from there. So if there's any Jessie Ann Smith descendants out there, I'm hoping that there will be some at your event and I can meet some. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in Ellsworth, an Owens, Ellsworth, and Hancett, Hanchett. So if any of my relatives are out there, that'd be fun. I didn't even think about that, Eric. That's great.
Yeah.
Arizona. So after Arizona, I'm going to come back to Provo again on Saturday, July 20th. I'm taking June off for a family reunion and spend time with my family and some other things that I have going on the business end. And so July 20th, Saturday, Provo, Utah. It'll be a different venue than what we had last time because from a security standpoint, I don't want people knowing where I was last time. I was at the Provo Marriott last time, and I will not be there this time around. It'll be a different venue for those of you that are doing repeat classes from Provo last time. Right now, we have Boise and San Diego on hold because we would like to fill up these other classes first. We will open up Boise later on, depending on how some things go with my schedule. The plan right now is to still hold the Boise class and the San Diego class in September and October, but I see some things on the forefront for me that may cause a conflict in me actually having those classes. So if you for sure don't want to miss going to a class, I would suggest that you sign up for St. George, Hawaii, Mesa, or Provo. And then if you're able to go to another one later, that's great. But I'm not going to guarantee that we're going to have the Boise or San Diego class right now. There's too much agency at stake right now with some things I'm dealing with on the home front and some other things. So anyway, Eric, you got anything else? I don't know. That's really businessy. We should make it fun.
Fun. If you want fun, you got the wrong guy. So sorry. I'm all business.
I'm like in a serious mood today. I've got some pretty heavy things on my mind. If you have not gone to my Julie Rowe Prepared blog, there's some pretty good songs on there that I've been sending out some messages on of things going on in my life and in the behind the scenes stuff that if you want some insights into that, I will not be posting what's going on. And people that are texting and emailing me, you can just forget getting any answers from me right now.
Hey, and that goes for me too. I'm getting a fair bit myself, Julie.
Oh my gosh. Why did the podcasts aren't up? And I'm like, nope, they're not.
Well, you know what's interesting? I always read the New Testament. I love the New Testament, and I think about the way the Savior spoke in parables and how he, there were times he wasn't able to speak openly or freely. Right. And so he had lessons and parables so that he could speak, and those who had eyes to hear. And so, the expression, I just totally botched that, but.
No. Well, two of my favorite songs lately, and I don't remember the name of the song because a friend of mine sent it to me, but there's the verbiage that I keep remembering is the sharks are out. And I knew they would be right before I did the last radio show, and I knew they would be out after the radio show, and I can tell you the sharks are alive and well in my life right now. So if you're interested in that, there's a song on my blog. You can go listen to that. There's also a Don't Worry, Be Happy song. If you're getting fearful energy, go ahead and listen to that. And then the Shawn Mendes song that my daughter played for me in the car the other day. I think it's something like big things are happening or something. Yeah. And the verbiage on that absolutely pumps me up right now is what I see coming up.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so cool how timely those songs are that like they practically find you, right?
They do.
Your listeners and friends send just the right song or, meme or whatever at the right time. It's cool.
Yeah. Or I'm sitting in the car jamming out with my daughter and she's like, Mom, have you heard this song? and we're just, dancing and singing in the car, and then the spirit says, post that on your blog.
Yeah.
So you'll be receiving more emails with music. I speak music speaks to my heart, and therefore I want to speak through music as well. So just we've had some people wondering what in the world's going on with the music, and you're going to get a variety of music, and some of you can go ahead and judge me thinking that you have no idea why I would post something about DJs in a club and pumping up the music, but there are deeper messages on for people on both sides of the veil, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Eyes to see, ears to hear. All right, Julie, anything else?
For all those people that just think I'm crazy, I'm giving them ammunition, Eric. But that's okay. It's part of my cover story. I think it's a beautiful plan.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's see what else. I feel like there's something else before we sign off. Oh, for those of you that didn't listen to the radio show or didn't know about it, I did a 3-hour radio show with Steve Mitten out of Burley, Idaho last week. And I was on the phone for that. He was on the phone in his studio, but he did a live feed video on YouTube. You can type in Steve Mitten. There are 3 different hours there. I think you've got listed Steve Mitten Show, Julie Rowe 1, Julie Rowe 2, and Julie Rowe 3. It'll give you the full 3 hours. I said some pretty good stuff on there that is new that I have not ever said out loud before.
Right, that's true. By the way, I'm not sure it was live on YouTube. I think that's where he posted it afterwards, but it was live on Facebook. I think that's how he rolls.
That's what it was.
And I was on there as
So, okay.
Yeah, you had several listeners and fans and stuff on there, and that was fun. I really liked that format because we were able to chat on the side as you were saying stuff, and anyway, it was a lot of fun.
That was funny, Eric. I mentioned, a few things, and Eric's over there chatting it up on the internet with Steve while I'm on the phone across the country, and he's like, "Hey, your friend Eric has something to say."
Yeah. Or Hector was involved, and that was fun to hear your comments, Hector. So anyway.
Several of my clients that I recognize and friends.
That was fun.
Anyway, 3 hours there. And then for those that haven't heard, or just as a reminder, I will be back in person on Steve Mitten's show in Burley, Idaho, May 22nd. I did announce on the radio that I don't want anybody showing up in Burley, Idaho. I have serious security issues. Do not think about showing up in Burley, Idaho and trying to talk to me at that station. I absolutely will not even say hi to you. This is how firm I'm going to be. Don't try to contact me to meet up, and I have to do this from a security standpoint. It's very dangerous for me to announce publicly that I'm traveling somewhere, and I will have security with me. Eric's also going to be on that show. He'll be in for the last hour. That will be a 3-hour in-person radio interview. I'll do the first 2 hours, and then we'll bring Eric in. That's the plan for now. We may mix it up. Maybe we'll just see if we can get Eric to come in for all of ours because he's got some good stuff to say. So, but that's the plan that Steve and I have so far. And there'll be another lady that Steve knows that'll be on for part of that too. And the books, I announced this on the radio show too. The books are no longer being printed. We have stopped publication on those. There are still some books available because the distributor already has those. They've gone out to stores, and once that happens, it's out of my hands and out of my publisher's hands. So you can still get some books, but I don't know how many. We have a few thousand copies of, I think, from the biography. I don't have the numbers on how many other books are out there. I don't think it's very many. So if you're interested in buying any books, I don't know if or when those are going to go back into publication or what's going to happen there. But right now, as far as we know, publication has stopped on the books. And I won't be answering any questions as to why the podcasts are down or why the books are not in publication. So please just realize I'm setting a very clear boundary there. I will not be answering those questions. Please do not text me about that. Do not email Eric and I about that. And Eric and I are the only ones that know why that's going on, so it won't do any good to try and find somebody else in my close circle because they don't have a clue what's going on. And that's purposeful.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that's all the announcements, Eric.
Yeah, I think that gets us up to date. So we'll probably be on here, I don't know. When do you see us on here next?
On here next? Oh, we'll do another announcement after the St. George event just to remind people about Hawaii and and let them know the updates on what's going on with Hawaii and when we close and stuff. We'll do that between every event. So I expect that we will probably just do announcements from here on out, at least for a while, and maybe forever. I don't know. I see us doing some more work in the future, but I'm holding off on any details on that right now. And the announcements will come basically a week before each energy class, unless the spirit tells me otherwise. If I get something juicy from the other side of the veil, maybe I'll be spontaneous and, do a 5-minute recording or something like that.
That sounds good. All right.
I don't know. Like, what could be juicy? Tomorrow's the earthquake. Put your shoes by the bottom of your bed. Or volcano in Idaho going off in 3 days. Or a change is coming. Take note of Hexter's 2-day warning.
Yeah. Oh, those are
those
juicy.
would warrant juicy details.
Don't forget stuff in politics. Trudeau, Trump, some of those other things you mentioned on the last show, right?
That's true. They should listen to the radio show. I talked about Kushner and Trudeau and how they're like Antichrist, right, and talked about ISIS and the true identity of ISIS and how's it tied into Aphrodite. This radio show coming up in May is going to be interesting. We're going to talk about the Olympians, ISIS, satanic ritual abuse, human trafficking, satanic temples. It's going to be pretty intense stuff that I've never talked about before in detail. So stay tuned.
Cool. Thanks, Julie.
I'm kind of putting myself out there. And also, if you haven't heard my story on how I met Kane, that's in the last radio show. It's going to get juicy. And I don't know if I'm ever going to talk publicly about that again, because he's a shapeshifter and I don't want him showing up at my house again. So I'm just putting that out there. But if he does... And
you just lost half of your listeners.
Yes, exactly. But this is because I'm trying to weed through the people that can actually discern truth and would really believe or figure out whether or not they think I'm crazy or what side of the fence I sit on. And I've got watchers and observers on both sides of the veil that are working for the dark side. So I like to do my best to tell the truth and let people figure out whether or not I'm just flat out crazy or if I'm legit.
Yeah.
Because shapeshifters are a real thing. If you don't know what those are, be careful what you Google, but they're real.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
It's basically the dark equivalent of a translated being.
Right.
So that's the simplest way to say it.
Opposition in all things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You can hear me talk about Trump. All these people have this idea about Trump. I kind of came out on some stuff about Trump just briefly on the last radio show too. So anyway, you guys, thanks for listening. Hope you're having a great day. Enjoy your weekend. We look forward to seeing those of you that are coming to St. George. Just expect in the next week, if you're coming to the St. George class, your life's going to get a little bit fun because the opposition does not want you doing this work. But just brace yourself, clear your energy, and get ready to clear more energy on Saturday, March 30th. Thanks so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.